Hi, I'm the Buildmonger, and welcome back to another episode on the PrimeFools server. Long time no see, guys, and I wholeheartedly apologize for the fact that I have been AWOL from this series for so long. But we are back in the Roman village today, and I'm super pumped to be back, honestly. So, essentially, if you don't know, this is going to be our communal area on the server, and essentially we got a basic block palette laid out here. We got marble, we got red sandy brick and stone and stuff, and we got blocks of gold. So it's gonna be really fun. Psychotic Butcher, he is a guest star just like myself on the regular PrimeFools server, but not on Primecraft, and he is already starting his Roman stuff. As you can see, he's got some pretty cool stuff. And one thing I will say, take it or leave it, I don't care, because obviously this is a communal area. But I feel like the chiseled marble is a bit blue for the area if we're using mostly astral sorcery and chiseled marble pillars. But that's my personal opinion. It doesn't have to be everyone's. So yeah, let's get started. Today, the first Roman municipal building is going up, and is going to be a Roman bathhouse. We have essentially what is going to be the outline here. We have kind of an entry corridor that goes along this side of the bathhouse, and then we got the kind of like the square area where the bath is going to be. Over here is where people are going to kind of leave their clothes and chill out, and you step in. And then there's another step somewhere around here in the center of this area that essentially is the pool of water people bathe in. And I think that is going to look really cool. And I do realize I did sort of make a slight mistake on this, which is that this area in general is going to be a little bit longer and sort of segmented off from the rest of it. But regardless, we sort of have a good plan to begin. So, you are essentially going for the wall design. I'm going to be going 3 up, like this, and eventually I'm going to mix this marble with the marble bricks from Astral Sorcery, just to kind of make it look a bit better. But what you're going to want to do now is essentially take these bolted blocks of gold and just run them across like this, and in these spaces in between you're just going to want to put some red sandy stone. Actually, looking at this pattern now, I think what would look better, and we are of course going to be adding some of this red sandy stone elsewhere, but what's going to look better in general, because that looks way too dark for my taste, what we could use is just a little bit of this red sand and essentially turn that into red sandstone, which you can then turn into red sandstone panels. And let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks much better. And then after that, what we can do is go over here and craft up some marble arches, which we can basically then use for the purpose of putting on top of the pattern up there. So you're going to get a wall design that looks a lot like this one, and I think that wall design looks really nifty. So the next thing to do is frame it out. So essentially we're using chisel marble pillars for this, and essentially what this is going to do is chisel marble pillars are actually quite a bit darker than the Astral Sorcery marble, so it's actually going to add quite a bit of light and dark contrast, in addition to having 2 types of pillars, one for vertical and one for horizontal, as you can see from here. So yeah, let me get a little bit of work done on the Roman build, and I'll come back to you in just a second. Check out this progress, guys! Oh man, I'm really liking this. For one, we've gotten a bit more framework in with these marble pillars. And we have essentially done the front facade of the main entryway, which I really like. Let me walk you through what I've done here since the last clip, step by step. We have the front facade, which essentially has kind of a slanted upwards roof look, which is very different, I think, from what you would expect. It's not going up and then down, it's not like a gabled roof, it's got kind of its own look to it, which is just slanting directly up. So that's really cool. And of course, we have a little bit of a pattern to break up the monotony of just the marble and marble bricks. So we have pillars going up and down and horizontally too, and I think it looks really nice. We have 2 blocks or 3 blocks of gold in the mixture that just adds a little bit of a color pop on the front facade of this thing. And I don't know if I've mentioned it already, but we have 2 different types of pillars for vertical and horizontal. For vertical, we have the Greek capped plain pillars. For horizontal, we have the decor capped wide pillars, and I think that makes it look really good. And how can we forget this nifty little piece? A sliding shoji door to get into the bathhouse. Okay, fine, this is technically a Japanese inspired door, but I think it works for specifically a Roman bathhouse, and I can't find a recipe for the door I wanted to use, which is this medieval door right here. I'm pressing R, I'm clicking, I can't get information on a recipe, so for now I think this will have to do. Now, before we go in, I should mention that I did erect some pillars on the outside of the bathhouse wall. This was the part where we had the alternation of gold blocks and red sandstone panels. And I've actually added one more color to this, which on the outside you can't see because it's covered up by the marble pillars. But if we swoop around on in to the inside, you can see it, and it just adds a little color pop for when you're inside, and it's this pearlized brick block. Now I should mention, these things are not cheap. I had to get AZ Badfish, another great member of the server. He is definitely the most prolific on this series. But I had to get him to give me some end stone, and I had to get him to give me some ender pearls to make this lovely block, but I think either way it turned out well. Minus the roof on most sides, the exterior of this building is pretty much done, and it's looking fantastic. Of course, we have pretty much made the entire slanted roof, but we've also got this cool little decoration on the side with some marble pillars and some gold blocks. I just realized these are the wrong marble pillars. Okay. Crisis averted, building fixed now, everything is fine. But as you can see, the main front and back entryways are done. Another cool door, and we enter into the middle. And I've completed the walls in this section too. Have a little bit of an arch, which basically I'm going to need to trim this down because it doesn't fit in with the line. Like basically this is going to be kind of the cutoff point for this, and it doesn't match up well. However, yeah, it's looking pretty nifty. One last thing before we go. These pillars here are going to divide essentially the area where people can hang out, or locker rooms, sort of. I don't really know the technical term. And the bath itself, which is going to be 1 or 2 blocks in, and it's just, yeah, you're just gonna walk right in. It's gonna be a super cool place once I'm finished. But I think that's about as much time as I have for today. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I have a Norwegian flag on my head, I just forgot that. If you did not, tell me why in the comments, and if you really enjoyed it, make sure to click that notification bell to be notified when other videos come out from me in the future. Anyway, I've been the Buildmonger, and I shall see you in a little bit. Peace.